Hi girls, and welcome to our second year of the LEAD Club, Literacy Empowers and Directs. And last year in our meetings, remember, we read 5 different books, all featuring female characters who through some situation or decision became much stronger through the course of the story. And this year we'll continue to do the same. Now before we get started talking about our first book, I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you if you recognize this character. Oh, I'm sure you do. Everyone recognizes Jasmine. Disney made her very, very popular. Um, Even if you haven't seen her movie, I bet you have a little sister or you babysit a little girl who might have this doll, might dress like Jasmine for Halloween. Now, let's suppose you have to shop for your little sister's birthday. You go to the toy store, and on the doll shelf, somehow, strangely, there's only 2 choices left. It's Jasmine, and it's a doll dressed like this. I'm wondering which one you would decide upon. I know if I were shopping for my granddaughter, I'd go with Jasmine. I'm very familiar with Jasmine, and she's dressed quite colorfully, and her long, beautiful hair. My granddaughter would have so much fun brushing her hair and playing with it. I know very little about someone who's dressed like this. Well, that's what we're going to explore in our first book that we're going to read. This summer, I had the pleasure of reading this book, Does My Head Look Big in This? And it was written by Randa Abdel-Fattah. She wrote the book in 2005. It's realistic fiction. It follows the life of a main character named Amal and a decision that she has to make. Amal's very much a regular type of teenager. She lives in Australia. Both of her parents, however, were born in Palestine, and they are of the Muslim faith. Amal attends a private, very, very expensive, very elite high school. And she's home on winter break one time, and she's watching a rerun of the show Friends. Now, I'm not sure if you've seen Friends, because it was a show from the 1990s, but they show it on television in reruns. One of the main characters in Friends is a young woman named Rachel Green. And in this particular episode, Rachel has been asked to be the bridesmaid at her ex-fiance's wedding. Now, I know that's pretty embarrassing. To make matters worse, the dress is just horrid. I mean, it's a bright pink, kind of the color of Pepto-Bismol. It's all fluffy. It has bows and rhinestones all over it. But the embarrassment doesn't stop there for Rachel. During the reception, Rachel steps out to go to the restroom, and she unknowingly tucks the back of her pink dress into her underwear, walks back into the reception hall in front of everyone, showing her underwear. Now, most of us would die of embarrassment at that point, run out of there crying, never wanting to see any of those people again. Rachel, however, she musters up the courage. She gets up on the stage, and she starts leading the whole group in a song. So Amal's watching this, and she thinks, I can look different, I can be different, and I can be strong. And that's when she makes the decision that for her faith and for her culture, she wants to become a full-timer. That means to wear the headdress, the hijab, which is traditional Muslim headdress, all the time. In a school where nobody else wears this. In a world where we had just gone through the terrorist attacks, and many people were suspicious of Middle Easterns. Even her parents caution her that they think maybe she is not prepared to face what's going to come. The bullying, the suspicious looks, people moving away from her if she decides to wear that all the time. So we're going to explore this book. We're going to see if Amal is brave enough to carry through with this. Now, please don't misunderstand. The book is not all about the Muslim culture or religion. Amal, as I said, is very much a typical teenager. She and her friends, they laugh, they talk on the phone, they watch TV, they hang out, they shop. They can be funny, they can be sassy, but we need to see how Amal will emerge from this major decision.